For Chapter 5, I'm going to attempt to walk you through some of these annuities on the computer because I want to show you how we can use Excel to make your life a little bit easier. And hopefully that will be more helpful. Plus, when we're talking about annuities, we're looking at different tables. So I'm hoping this will be a little bit easier to walk you through on the computer. Hopefully it doesn't make you sick when I start jumping around between different formats, between Word, Excel, and the book. So when we're talking about an annuity, we have to understand that annuities are paid at the beginning or end of a period, and that makes a big difference. So we have to distinguish that first. So an ordinary annuity, the payments occur at the end of each period. So kind of get that in your head. Whereas the annuity due, the payments are at the beginning of each period. So that's a big difference there, especially when it comes to the calculations. One other distinguishment that you need to make is the difference between the future value and the present value. The future value is the sum of all the payments plus the accumulated compound interest. So what you're going to get at the end, basically. Whereas the present value of an annuity is, let's say I know what interest rate I have and I know what amount I want to get to. It's what do I have to contribute now in simple terms to get an expected amount with a certain interest rate. And time involved. All right, so let me kind of walk you through some of these. I have 4 here I want to get through. This is exercise 5.4 in your book. Again, you'll have a practice problem with different numbers involved. So I want you to try to use the Excel for this piece of it. I'm going to show you both, but I want you to just give it a shot and hopefully you'll find it a little bit easier. So this first one that we're walking through is a future value of 20 periodic payments made at the beginning of each period. So we're talking here, go back up, we're talking about an annuity due, and the interest rate is 8%. So I've put them all here into Excel. So I know I'm talking about a future value. I know I'm talking about an annuity due, and this is the information that I have. So if you want to use the book, you can come find the book, and we're going to look for the future value of an annuity. So that first one is the present value of 1. To scroll down here, maybe it'll be, here's the future value of an ordinary annuity. I know that my percentage rate was 8%, so I'm looking here, and my number of payments was 20, so I'm going to scroll down and I can find 8% and 20, and my rate here is 45.76196. So I'm going to copy that number. I'm going to bring it over here, list in my factor. Again, the book does show you on a calculator how to figure out that factor. I'm going to show you in Excel, or you can use your book, whatever you find easiest. So if I take that $4,000 payment and I'm going to multiply it by my factor, it's going to give me an amount. But this is only for your ordinary annuity. Because this is an annuity due, I'm going to have to times that by 1.08. So I'll take that factor, or the amount I came up with, times that by 1.08. And I'm going to get 197,691, which is your answer. Now let me show you a little trick. All right, now I want to walk you through this using Excel. So if you open up an Excel program, you're going to come to the top toolbar and hit Formulas. From here, you're going to say Insert Function. This is going to help you write the formula that you need. In the search function, you can type in what you're looking for. I'm looking for a future value. I can hit go. It's going to bring up all those future value functions. Click the one I want, and it's going to bring this up, and all I have to do is input the information I have. So my rate is 8%. My number of periods is 20. My payment is going to be a negative amount because I'm paying money. Don't put any commas. It doesn't seem to like those. And then lastly, because this is an annuity due, I'm going to put the number 1 in the type down here and hit OK. And look, it's calculating the same amount that I got when I used all my tables and my factors. So let's go through and try another one. Number 2. Number 2 is the present value of $2,500 to be received at the beginning of the period. So again, an annuity due. The number of periods is 30 and the interest rate is 5%. I went ahead and put that information into my Excel already, but now we're looking for present value of annuity. So I can come down here and find my book. Give me a second. And find that present value table, which is right here, table 5.5. I do want to point out that your present value tables have an option for both your annuity, ordinary annuity, and annuity due. So where's the future value? We had to times that by the 1.08. In the last problem here, you can just go ahead and find the right factor. So again, we're looking at present value of an annuity due. Our interest rate is 5%. Here, there's so many number of periods. I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th column. And come down to 30. I've already have it highlighted. I'm going to bring that over into my Excel. And I'm going to calculate the amount. I take my payment times my factor, and it's going to give me the amount. Again, showing you how to use Excel. Go to Formulas, go to Insert Function. Here, we're looking for a present value, so I'm going to search that. Come to my present value, click OK, and again, it's giving me the information it needs to calculate. So I'm going to put that information in. Number of periods is 30. The payment, again, we enter in as a negative amount because it's a payment being made. Don't put in those commas there. And again, this is an annuity due. So I'm going to type the number 1 in the type and click OK. And then you can see there, we're getting the same amount. Now let's move on to the next one, number 3. Number 3 is looking at a future value, beginning of the period, compounded at 10%. Then we'll just, again, go to number 3. For the sake of saving time and that I want you to use this Excel, I'm going to just walk you through that part. Going to Formulas, going to the Insert Function here. Because you've already used it, it's going to start popping up. We're using a future value, so click that one. Put in your information. %. The payment is always negative. And this is an annuity due. So I'm going to add the number 1. And then your answer should come up here. And finally, looking at that last one again, the present value. Same information. I'm pulling this straight from the book. We have 6 receipts or 6 payments of $1,000 each, beginning of the period. So again, we're looking at an annuity due. The only difference on that Excel is you wouldn't put that, for the type you would put 0 instead of 1. And our interest rate is 9%. So here again, insert my function. I'm looking at a present value. I'm going to input my rate, which is 9%. My number of periods, which is 6. My payment as a negative amount. And then again, this is an annuity due. If it was just a normal annuity, ordinary annuity, you don't put anything in that type. You can just hit OK and you're done. Because it is an annuity due, you put that 1 in and you'll see the answer right there. So how would this translate into a test question? We're honestly looking at the same thing. I still recommend using, especially in a test, using Excel because it's going to save you a ton of time. And I'll show you both ways on this again, but really try to use that Excel feature. This is in your book, How to Use the Excel, if you want a step-by-step, not in a video. It's in the appendix in the back. We don't test on the appendix, but I just wanted to show you this because I do think it's going to save you time. So for the first one I have here, these are going to be simple type exam questions. We're investing $8,000 every January 1st, so that's the beginning of the period. They're earning 12%. And what amount will be in the fund in December 31st? So we're looking at that future value. So if I come back to my Excel sheet, I have this set up already. I'm looking for a future value, and I'm going to insert that function key for future value because it wants to know how much we have at the end. I'm going to put in 12%. My number of periods was 6. And then my payment amount was $80,000. And then I'm going to say that this is an annuity due because it was beginning of the period. So my answer is coming to $727,120, which is an option here. So your answer there would be D. Now you'll notice this was probably the ordinary annuity amount. So make sure you're putting in all the information you're supposed to, and you're double checking that you're distinguishing the difference between an ordinary annuity and the annuity due. All right, so let's try one more. Going through this one is saying they invest $90,000 for the next, but this one, it does say every December 31st. So we're talking the end of the year. I wanted to show you an example of that. So it's for the next 6 years and it's 12%. Again, I'm going to show you on Excel, but here we're looking at an ordinary annuity. That's the difference. So pay attention to those dates. And finally, we're going to insert the function. We have a future value. My rate is 12%. My number of periods is 6. And my payment amount is $90,000. And again, because this is an ordinary annuity, under type I can just put 0 or I can just leave it blank. And I hit OK. And it's going to tell me the answer is 730,367. I come to my worksheet here. That is option C. So hopefully you try this Excel. Again, it's in your book. It's in the appendix to show you how to do this, but it's just going to save you a ton of time. So give it a try on your homework. And if you've got questions, please let me know.